Are you one of those people who listens to a Legends album once and says it's whack? I want to talk about the positive aspects of Lil Wayne's The Carter 6 album. Let's talk about it. What's good, everybody? It's your man Lighthouse, and you're now tuned into another episode of Everything Ain't For Everybody. Today we'll be discussing Lil Wayne's latest release, The Carter 6. Buckle up, because this isn't the bandwagon of hate you've all been seeing online. Okay, so with Lil Wayne, the bars are never in question, right? So let's establish that immediately. Even in his legacy artist era, Wayne still flexes the lyrical dexterity that made him a generational voice. But at this stage of his career, he's clearly making the music he wants to make. Less concerned with appeasing mixtape Wheezy purists and more about self-expression on his terms. If you're a lifelong fan, you'll likely appreciate this offering. If you're hoping for another The Carter 3, temper those expectations. So let's just set this straight right now, right? I'm not a diehard Wayne fan, all right, by a long shot, but I've already received the classic albums I needed from him. Now, Wayne is a global icon, a cultural figure who understands the commercial expectations that come with his stature. That sometimes means crafting crossover records that might leave fans nostalgic for his rawer mixtape days. But dismiss Wayne at your own risk. He remains one of rap's most technically gifted MCs. The album, like much of his recent work, is a study in contrast. Wayne's wordplay is as sharp as ever. He delivers effortless flows and clever rhyme schemes that will delight lyric lovers all over. But from a production standpoint, there are hits and misses. The AI sample moments feel hollow, mimicking the sound of soulful records without capturing their essence. Case in point, Welcome to the Carter. This song is lyrically dense but musically sterile, and the bars seem to be fighting to rise above the empty beat. The song Bells didn't immediately grab me. It's one of those tracks that might grow on me with time, so I'm gonna double back and listen to this album and let it grow with me and see if I kind of feel it. I understand it conceptually, it's giving homage to Def Jam and old school hip hop and LL Cool J. So I respect that. Lil Wayne is definitely tapped in, and he always takes every opportunity to showcase his appreciation for the culture and his reverence for what came before him, which is important. To me, the album finds its footing with hip hop, featuring Big X the Plug and Jay Jones. And for the song Sharks, the country rap hook from Jelly Roll is infectious, almost annoyingly so, but Big Sean shines here, delivering one of the album's most standout verses. Wayne's reimagining of Noriega's Banned from TV on Banned from NO is another highlight. He skillfully blends East Coast swagger with New Orleans bounce, making it distinctly his own. Then there's Being Myself, an undeniable standout. Manny Fresh flips Dionne Warwick's I'm Just Being Myself with a masterful drum programming, providing a soulful, infectious backdrop for Wayne's confident declarations. This is Wayne being his most self-aware and most confident on the album. This song is something that I can resonate with because as a Scorpio, I'm super tuned into this because I'm very into being myself and just having self-confidence and whatnot. So this is an anthem for me. So I really appreciate this joint right here. Overall, the Carter 6 offers more bright spots than misfires. It reflects a Wayne who has grown as a person and also as an artist. He's even brought his children into the project, an endearing reminder of how far he's come. Of the 19 tracks, about 4 didn't connect with me. Specifically, Peanuts to an Elephant, produced by Lin-Manuel Miranda, which feels forced, and Alone in the Studio with a Gun, which may need more listens for me to fully appreciate, but definitely Peanuts to an Elephant. I think everyone can agree on this. I've seen people online saying that this song is terrible, it's trash, whatever, but yeah, for me personally, this song does not resonate with me. And Lin-Manuel Miranda is an excellent composer. He has Broadway classics, he has soundtrack classics, he has scoring in movies. So it's damn, this is our first time, hearing you produce for a rapper. And maybe I might be wrong. Maybe he has something that hasn't slid across my desk in terms of producing for hip hop. But this beat, I don't know, man. This is some shit that could have just been left on the hard drive that didn't need to come out. But I think that the overall concept of this album is to be free and just to express yourself. And like, I kind of respect that about Wayne. I feel like with all of the Super Bowl conversation that happened, not even sure he was even in talks to be a part of the Super Bowl. I feel like this is an album where Wayne is like, you know what? Y'all ain't picked me when y'all was in my city, despite the fact that the Super Bowl's been in New Orleans a few times. You know, this isn't the first time. I feel like this is an album where he made it so that it will be undeniable the next time that the Super Bowl is in New Orleans, and he'll have this added to his catalog where he can actually do songs, because he has songs with MGK, he has songs with Bono, he has songs with Wyclef Jean, who's an international sensation. He also has songs with Jelly Roll. So I feel like this album kind of positions him in a place where he can do songs that people like, but it's all contingent on how people receive this project. I think reviews like this that kind of give an unbiased and objective point of view kind of can create a space where people are like, okay, let's give it a chance. Because I feel like we have to do that. You can't just blow this off, pause, as like, you know, it's whack. You know, like the last project he gave us was in 2020, you know, January of 2020. Like that's 5 years ago, you know. Legacy acts and people like Wayne take their time to actually craft things. You have to live life. He's a father now, you know, it's so many things going on, and he's given us his best expression, you know, and we have to respect Wayne. Like, he's given us classics before, so how can we just turn our back on Wayne and be like, oh, this shit is washed up? We disrespect our legends, and we shouldn't do that. We have to take into consideration that Lil Wayne has grown, you know, he's a father. His name is Lil Wayne, but he's a grown man. He has 2 of his children on this album. I didn't come into this album thinking, okay, I'm expecting this from Wayne. I came into this album thinking like, I just want to hear what Wayne has to say. Some of the beat choices, but when you think about it, it's like, okay, let me play devil's advocate. Let me just say Wayne wants to make music that's palatable for a broader audience, you know? When you do that, you kind of take the steam out of everyone who's like expecting things, because you're expecting like mixtape Weezy. This is definitely not mixtape Weezy. This is post CD Weezy. With post CD Weezy, we're getting a person who has to do music that fits the format. People have a crazy attention span, and it's indicative with the responses that we've got already over the weekend for the album. People are like, yo, this shit is trash. It's like, y'all could not have listened to this shit. Y'all skimmed through it, you know what I mean? And you have to listen to the album. He's saying some shit. He's barring it up. You know, Wayne's gonna always give you a word salad. But this album, I feel like I'm getting the Wayne I would have got from the last album. Like, to me, all his shit sounds the same. I would say that Wayne is giving us what we would expect from Wayne without having the expectations of Wayne. Like, it's the same Wayne. Like, he's gonna triple entendre shit. He's gonna rhyme the same words. Like, it's the same Wayne. And it's like, what did you expect? Because like, really what it boils down to is just like beat production. So maybe you didn't like the production. It doesn't get good until the 4th song, which is Hip Hop, which features Big X the Plug and Jay Jones. That's when I'm like, okay, I'm here for this. But 1, the intro is like, okay. Then 2, Welcome to the Carter, Bells, From 4 up until about, what I would say, until 7, The Days with Bono. That song feels like it's a song that, you know, feels political. It feels like I have this in my catalog, and if I was ever to perform for a certain audience, I have this type of shit that I could just hit y'all with, and then we be good. Ultimately, I'm glad I took the time to sit with this album. We come from an era where you support respected artists by giving their work your honest attention, right? In today's fast-paced internet culture where quick judgments spread like wildfire, it's easy to write off an album after 1 spin, but Wayne's output demands more care. The 5-year gap since Funeral, which dropped in 2020, gave him the space to live life and pour fresh perspectives into his project. Critics may claim Wayne is washed or out of step with today's sound, but that's missing the point. If anything, he and some casual fans may have simply grown apart, a natural evolution after 25 plus years in the game. In the Carter 6, Wayne checks the boxes for me. It's lyrical sharpness, it's cultural reverence, it's crossover appeal, and production that suits his ever-evolving persona. So if you like Wayne, you love Wayne, this is good because he's giving you 19 songs. It's an hour and 7 minutes. If you love Wayne, this is perfect for you. But if you're a casual Wayne fan like myself, like I like Lil Wayne, I respect Lil Wayne, but I'm not like going to pay to go see Wayne at a concert, you know, just being honest, completely honest. This album is cool, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it gives me what I need from Wayne, but, you know, whatever. Like, I don't have any expectations. So, like, what I like about Wayne, it appears on this album, and that's why I respect it. And I feel like, you know, all of the vitriol that we are receiving online about this project, I say ignore the noise, check it out for yourself. With all that being said, no, the Carter 6 is not the Carter 3, but it's a worthy chapter in Wayne's storied legacy. If you're a fan of his artistry and evolution, it's absolutely worth a listen. Absorb it, see what resonates, then circle back and let me know what you think about it, okay? But that's my time, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Everything and for Everybody, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.